This is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Alexander Müller-Gastell, CEO of ND SatCom. Alexander, welcome again.
Very good morning to you, Richard.
Now, let's start off. Look, the last couple of years have been rather challenging, not just for the industry, but everyone as a whole. How has ND SatCom continued to innovate and develop products during this difficult period?
Well, I think, in the end, we have stayed focused. We have stayed focused on the things that we can influence and that we can materialize in regard to coming up with the projects, with the innovations that are predominantly customer driven. Obviously, we look at market trends, but specifically we look at customer demands, and we are customizing our solutions to those demands. And it is, of course, challenging. Never mind, the pandemic that has hit us over the last year and a half. But people have stayed focused, and that has been, I would say, one of the major reasons why we have continued to be able to deliver.
Now, a lot of people talk about the material supply chain and the impact the pandemic has had on components. Has this in any way disrupted your product deliveries to customers?
Well, we've been in a fortunate situation where over the years we have always depended very much on local sourcing. We pride ourselves in being a company that produces its products made in Germany and has local suppliers for it as well. So fortunately enough, as other companies have suffered, we have not seen any disruptions of our supply chain during this difficult time. So production has continued. Now, having said that, we do monitor very closely our supply chain beyond just our direct suppliers, further into their supply chain, and making sure that the suppliers that they have are also viable partners for the future. So we do stay in close contact with our suppliers and want to make sure we have a good, thorough exchange to be able to be future-proofed as well. In these times where you don't know what further challenges will arise.
Now, the event side of it is very important to companies, and CABSAT is taking place in Dubai. ND SatCom are attending, and you're presenting a relatively new product, the Multi-band Flyway Terminal MFT 1500. What is so special about the product, and which customers is it targeted at?
I'm very glad you asked this question, because it is such a current issue for us, and it's sort of, I would say, hot off the stove. So the MFT 1500 is a made in Germany product that pushes the envelope of durability and performance to harsh environmental conditions. Our expertise that we've gained over the last 20 years in this industry has been incorporated in this design and the construction of it. The flyaway components are specifically adapted for our 5G modem and the requirements for climate resilience. And that's also reflected in the new software release, which includes ACM. And the performance highlights, if I just may add this, is that it's a rapidly deployable terminal that can be loaded into any truck and used in many civil and military frequency bands, KU, expand, and it's especially robust. We've done many tests on it in regard to wind conditions, for example, and we want to combine the field usability benefits with ease of use and dismantling it and robustness. So very excited about it. As you mentioned, international launch will be at CABSAT, and we look forward to having many customers on our stand examining it.
Good. That sounds quite exciting. But while we're talking about new products, disruptive technologies starting to come online, and the biggest one is the LEO constellations. Now, how has this affected your thinking about your product range moving forward?
Well, of course, it's on everybody's mind, the LEO constellations. Predominantly today, our military customers are using GEO. Also, the military and the first responders because they don't really have a secure LEO service yet, which is available on the market. Now, obviously, we do have these interesting constellations around, Starlink and, the O3Bs of this world, which, offer interesting solutions. But, in the end, for us, it's important that we offer our networks as an entirety, because we're a system integrator. And all of these constellations that are currently being offered around Starlink and OneWeb, to give you an example, are complete service offerings. We, on the other hand, design tailored solutions for our customers, and we want to be, and they want to control the networks. So I think in the future it's going to continues to be interesting, and we're tracking it, and we are participating in LEO activities. We do have a program running right now with the EU on working through these constellations, and we'll continue to stay on top of it as well.
Now, you operate in a number of sectors, Alexander: enterprise, broadcast, government, military, and you've already mentioned the military. Which sector is delivering the best results, and why?
So we've really stayed focused, as I mentioned in my first part, on making sure we stay with the markets and the segments that we know we can be successful, and stay away from the ones where we don't want to play in. Where are we successful? We are successful definitely in the military defense sector. Why are we successful? Because we can give our biggest customer on a national level a full service, which he has been accustomed to over many years now. Adjacent to that, or complementary to that, are obviously our government business as well, which internationally reaches out to the police service, the border controls, the fire brigades, and those businesses have been flourishing as well. Now, mind you, and this is obviously also sometimes based on unfortunate circumstances, here on a national level, we've had some tremendous flooding over the last months. And based on these floodings, people have realized that dependency on terrestrial networks, again, is not reliable, and they at least need a satellite backup to be able to function in those situations. So awareness has risen and has given us new business opportunities. Internationally as well, I would say those are the focuses, along with the air traffic control business. Now, the air traffic control business, as you probably realize, has gone through some challenging times. Nonetheless, there are networks out there which are being renewed while now the business is down. It's kind of, thinking against the mainstream. You're using time now to rejuvenate your network while the planes are down, because that's really, the time you have now. So the ATC business has certainly been challenging over the last 12 to 15 months, but the opportunities are rising now again. So those are really the main drivers of our success this year.
Well, let's go back to innovation, because you're known as a leading industry innovator. But what particular trends are dominating the sector at the current time?
So where we see trends that are relevant for us are especially around the secure communication. And part of this is security against cyber attacks. Threat that all IT networks that go down, that then go down, and they don't use 100% transmission and management traffic encryption as we implement them in our modems for many years, are obviously open for those kind of attacks. So we pride ourselves in providing features within our networks to be able to counteract those more and more imminent threats. As well, another advanced trend is obviously the terminals with optical links and extremely high transmission speeds, filling the LEO spot beams plus quantum key distribution. Now that's something that is going to be interesting in light of the connection between the ground segment and the satellites, and we're looking at that as well, and that's something I think that's going to not be on necessarily our roadmap for the next 3 to 4 months, but certainly within the foreseeable future, something we're tracking as well.
Now, finally, moving forward, what is the biggest challenge you face as a company?
The biggest challenge, and this is obviously a great question to answer, because it's something that we continue to thrive at in order to meet the challenge, is to really meet the customer demands and provide a reliable, timely service, adding flexibility to the mix based on the structure of our company, being a middle-sized company where we can provide flexibility to our customer in responding to their needs. And we always are looking towards making sure that we are resource-wise, organizational-wise, product-wise, and service offering-wise, meeting those customer demands, and actually are providing customers with solutions that they can be most successful at.
Well, Alexander, thank you very much. It's been very interesting talking to you.
Thank you, Richard, and have a great day.